All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I've got a great friend, Mr. Erin Rowan. Thank you for coming on the podcast, mate.
How you going, George?
Very well,
Happy
mate.
to be here.
Erin's got a great story, everyone. I met Erin, and he had bought his first property at 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Within a small period of time, Erin went from first home buyer to over $5 million of real estate. He unlocked his potential later. Even he has told me that. And that's why I wanted to get you in today, mate, because a lot of people who listen to our podcast, although they might be 80, they might be 40, mate, they might be 50. And I wanted to get your story, mate, because, I met you later, and that's your words, not mine, and you built a pretty decent property portfolio, the king of Carina, you're known as, and you got 3 properties worth over $5 million, and that's not normal in such a short period of time. So that's why I want to get you on the podcast. What you said before, you've listened to the podcast, and a lot of people have got similar stories.
Absolutely.
What do you mean by that?
It seems to me that a lot of people, when they were younger, was sort of like trying to find their way and stuff like that. I was one of those people as well. I left school when I was 15 because, to be honest with you, I was just bored and it just didn't fit in, and it just wasn't right for me. Didn't understand the subjects. And I wasn't sure if it was just me or if it was just society or whatever it was, but left school at 15, started working 6 days a week.
This island.
Yep.
Whereabouts in Ireland were you?
In a rural county up northwest called Donegal. It's actually colloquially known as the Forgotten County, so that should tell you everything. There's not much happening, Great place to visit, beautiful beaches, beautiful people, but work-wise, not much going on, really.
So you finished school early and
Yep.
started working 6 days a week.
6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, in a local creamery. Because, I lived in a rural area, so I grew up around farms and stuff like that there. So I started doing that when I was 15, full-time, making money. We didn't have much at home. My dad even had to move away to England to work, to send money home. We're in the middle of a recession, like in the 80s and stuff like that. Showing my age here. So I grew up with that struggle, you know what I mean? Like just for that, the money and, paying your way and all that sort of
There
stuff.
wasn't real money in the family.
Not really. Well, none, to be honest. I needed to make money to survive or whatever, or to get things that I wanted to do, all that sort of stuff. And the interesting thing is when, I think it was 1999, I actually travelled to Australia for a trip. Did a bit of travelling, went up to Sydney and stuff like that there. And my mate at the time who was living here, he had a car. He was doing well for himself, heaps of money, good weather, good people. I'm like, am I missing the beat here? What's going on? A bit of an epiphany moment for me, to be honest. So I went back home and I was like, I remember just going into this work and just the fucking smell of milk and just everything just sort of hit me. And I was like, what am I doing here?
Better in Australia.
I just needed to do something better, and I knew I was smart, but I was then trying to figure out, like, how do I get to where I want to be? So I just started to research and thinking about what I could do. So long story short, so I just started then doing this, would be your equivalent to like a TAFE course in computers, just learning the basics and stuff like that there. And it was like 3 months long, but I knew that there was another mature student course starting in the university that was free. So we didn't have to pay for our education. Yes. And I said, I just need to get in there. So I've got this 3 months thing behind me, and I just have to do an interview, and I just have to nail that interview and get in there. I made that's what I done. Went into that interview. Actually, funny story, that interview, me and some mates at home were doing this thing for charity. Actually, you'd like this, actually, because it was for children's charity in Dublin. A friend of mine actually had leukemia. I was in his class, actually. And we used to drink at his mother's pub. And she said, she'd love to do this thing for charity, and, would you boys be up for doing this thing for charity and getting sponsorships and all that? And we said, yeah, no worries. So the thing was, we had to dye our hair pink. So I had bright pink hair, went into this interview, standing across this table from this guy, who's doing the interview. Like, he's fixated on my hair. And I'm like, listen, let's just get the elephant out of the room here straight away, man. And I was like, I did this for charity and blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as I did that, it just opened up the conversation. And I reckon that's, helped a lot, to get that interview, to get into,
You knew you were the good guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like, when there's a moment, I just felt like,
Was that the first job in this contract management sort of thing?
No, this was me just going to university.
Okay, yes.
To do the training, like in IT, not training, like learn, like, you know what I mean? So I got in, did that for 4 years to get a degree. And you know what, man? Like, I spent every moment, like, I had such drive, you know, when I was just like,
How old were you at that point?
20 maybe.
So you went from the farming sort of stuff,
Yeah.
came to Australia,
Yeah.
sparked you a bit. You reckon
Yeah.
there was an epiphany moment?
Yeah.
You go, I think life probably better here.
I was like, even if I didn't
Yeah,
make it back to Australia, like, I was just like,
More motivated.
it just was a motivating moment, like, and I just knew.
I had a similar moment, mate, when I was in Hong Kong once, when I used to work in a bank, and I remember looking around the city, and it's a pretty impressive city if you've ever been there. In Kowloon, looking back at Hong Kong Island, I think, and that was actually a pretty big moment for me to start the business. It was a similar, what you just said there resonated with me, because I was like, I want more from this life.
Yep.
It was just looking around all the big buildings and how much the people have created, and you would have probably had the same feeling in Melbourne.
Absolutely. That's what happened, and yeah, and that's what I did. And you know, the big thing for me is I just had to have the belief in myself, like, you know, because other people won't believe in you if you don't believe in yourself, I think. So I just had this drive and belief in myself, because I remember like the first week or two in uni, and I'm like looking around and going, what am I doing here? Like, these people are just way better, smarter. No, they're not. You know, I just needed to just bed into it, figure it out, and do. And man, I was flying, like, you know.
A lot of people, what I've noticed in this podcast after talking to people, is everyone has got a lot of self-doubt, even still now. Top agents, top singers, they still have doubt. I mean, it's natural, right?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No, it's good. It's good, but but you also definitely got to have belief in yourself. So you started getting that when you did your course.
Yeah, you know, finished the course and did really well. You know, actually finished the highest actually in the whole year.
Really?
Yeah, like ridiculously. But I was just so driven, like, and working with my old man at the time as well, like, you know, which is probably why I'm fairly handy as well. You know, Dad was like a decorator, painter, tailor,
jack of all trades.
You know, so I kind of carried that with me as well. It was just driven to do it. And then after I finished that, I actually got a job in the local, and there was only one place in the whole county, like, and there was, from memory, there was over 100, more than 100 that interviewed for the jobs. And again, the drive in me and all that sort of stuff, like, I went into that interview and I was like, there's no way I'm coming out of here without that job. 3 of us got a job, like, coming out of university.
3%.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Well, it's 100, 3%, yeah.
Interesting. I honestly can resonate again with you so much.
Right.
Because even when I first got into banking, mate, I wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
And I was only 20 years old when I got in. My first job was mobile bank manager, and my boss was probably 50. And I remember she interviewed me. She goes, "You got no bank experience, no uni degree." I said, "Mate, I will nail this job. I'll work for free for 6 months. That's how bad I want it. And I'll be your number one. Like, just let me go." So you must have had that drive in you as well.
Yep.
And man, you know, hiring people here, not many people talk and act like that. So where do you reckon that confidence in you sparked? Was it Melbourne? Was it doing that TAFE course? What gave you that self-confidence in yourself? Or did someone believe in you?
Yeah, well, love it. My grandparents were always the big drivers for me as well. Like, you know, they were very kind and believed in you and stuff like that. And parents as well. And just the family itself was pretty supportive, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, because not a lot of us did this kind of thing. You know, they went off to like a 9-to-5 job and stuff like that there. So I was kind of breaking the mold, you know, which I was happy to do. But I was always kind of like that. I was, as I said, I was bored. Like, if I sat down at school, I could have done whatever it was that they wanted me to do, but it didn't interest me. Like,
so you start winning, right? You start knowing that if you believe and you can do something and you work hard for it, you get it. And that is the key to unlocking unlimited potential, right? Sure, it hasn't been a straight road for you.
No.
Sure, there's been hiccups, things that, and a lot of things that I'm hearing from people as they look at it as lessons. What's some critical lessons that you've learned?
Well, again, I go back to the belief, right? So if you once you start lacking your belief, then then you'll go, oh, well, I may as well give up. Like that sort of mentality. And I never did that. And I guess the lessons maybe would be just to, I've got a tattoo here on my arm, and it in Irish it says, take your opportunities. It says tappy and jazz.
Take your opportunities.
So, take your opportunities. So if you see an opportunity, if you feel that there's an opportunity, if you get a gut feel that there's an opportunity, go for it.
Take it.
Yeah.
That served you well.
Absolutely. You'll hear me saying that about opportunities all my life. And that's always served me well. Like, I'm always seeking opportunities. I'm looking for it. I'm hearing about opportunities, and I just go for it. Generally, I'm a bit of a risk taker, like, but not too bad.
Yeah. Educated risk taker.
Yeah.
You do your DD.
What do you say? An intelligent investor or something?
I think so. You've always done your research. Like you know what's going on.
Yeah,
you won't just go buy a hairdressing salon. You're gonna do research.
Yeah. And before I even come under the guys here, like I'd do a bit of research. I've got spreadsheets and shit like I'm at home and do my budgets, and I've got like a 10-year thing going on. Like,
so you look forward.
Yeah.
How far forward do you look?
10 years.
What does it look like in 10 years? Like, what do you think about? Okay, I'm going to be 55. I'm going to be living in this house. Tell me what. Again, that's a huge thing. I've found people sit in that chair is forward thinking.
Yeah.
Did you think what you would look like today 10 years ago?
No.
It would have been 35 or something.
Yeah, 36, 37, something like that. Yeah, not this.
10 years ago, what were you doing? Were you in Australia yet?
Yeah, I was in Australia. I mean, I've been in Australia 19, coming 20 years, like, and that was the other thing I was going to say to you. So once I did a bit of experience at home, so you're talking about plan forward. I'm going back to Australia, like, that's it. I'm going back, and then I came back again in 2006 or 7.
Look, I'm second generation Australian. My grandparents were you. You're the first one to move over. Mm-hmm. I love this place, mate.
Same.
I'm so grateful for all my grandparents moving to Australia. Some of the best decisions they've made. I love it, mate. You're Irish, I'm Greek, heritage. We've got all different types. I mean, I want to get into where you were 10 years ago, but now I'm on the Irish thing. There's a lot of Irish still coming over, and immigrants from everywhere. We get like 500,000 people moving here a year. Is it still the Australian dream here? It is possible?
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because I was actually going to bring that up today. So people used to say to me when we were younger, right, back in the 80s, 90s and stuff like that, there, America, it's a place to go. The American dream, all this. And I'm like, boys, fuck that. Like, Australia is the dream. It's the American dream. And that's why that Melbourne trip, like the epiphany, like, hold on a second, here, these guys. This is a great place to live. These are good people. The economy's good. The job. I mean, my mate was putting up shade sales and he was making ridiculous money. Like,
is it because Australia's the best? I mean, firstly, Melbourne's fantastic. I was there on the weekend for the Grand Prix. The nightlife's unbelievable, but Brisbane's as good, mate.
Oh yeah, listen. Well, that's what happened. So when I went back again in 2006-7, I was just laughing at, I forget the name of the guy that was here a couple of weeks ago. I think his son asked him why wasn't he a billionaire or something.
Reggie.
And he goes, mate, I came here with $800 in my pocket. And I was like, fuck, mate, I came here with minus $200 with a credit card. Like,
so you came here
with $1,000 less.
Minus $2,000.
Yep.
And you came to Australia.
Yeah, and a credit card. And so I had to get work straight away, but I was confident, like, do you know what I mean? Because I went through Asia, spent all the money, usual shit, when you're young-ish. And came here, like, and, talk about opportunities, but also, like, luck, good luck has served me well as well, like, and also just good people. So when I first came here, there was, like, a gang of Irish dudes that I knew, and the rule was you could stay in the apartment or the house or whatever it was for 3 weeks until you get a job.
Is Irish guys?
Yeah. And
Irish community look after each other?
They do. I back then they do. I'm not too sure now. I'm assuming it would be the same. Like, I had no money to pay for rent anyway. So anyway, got a job, and I was making a lot of money because the thing that I was doing back then isn't the thing that I do now. So I was actually a computer programmer, a developer, but I was doing a very niche language, which is code. Obviously, then the flip side of that means you get paid more because there's very few of us. So when I worked down there, man, I was making a fucking matzo, like, and I was just like, and then I was able to pay the rent, get my own place. Then I looked about, so I was always about like the drive for the visas, like, because you have to like try and
Become an Australian citizen.
all of it.
That was the first step.
Oh man, so you're talking about plans. So that was the 5-year plan, right? That was the 5-year plan was to like,
So property and stuff like that was out of the question.
That's why I was saying to you, this is why this wasn't even a
yes
blip at that point.
And like a lot of people who are on visas, they can't even. You need to be on real specific visas to get a property.
Yeah, that's your first step. How do I get to stay in this country? I mean, I again, driven, knew what I needed to do, try to get the sponsorship with the company. Sometimes it's bad luck. So, 3 weeks out from I was supposed to get it, the CEO got sacked by the board, and then it just went all whatever. So I'm like scrambling, trying to look for a job in Sydney. I was in Sydney at the time, sorry.
So I went from Melbourne to Sydney?
Yeah. So I was there for a year, and I'm looking up the jobs, and there's this place called Brisbane, and I'm like, where's Brisbane? Saying that now, I just feel stupid. Like, but back then, it probably wasn't a destination that most people were going. And I was like, okay, so I did a couple of phone interviews, negotiated, a package to go up there, the flights, all that, stay, place to stay for a number of weeks, and came up here, man. I just loved it from day dot.
Whereabouts in Brisbane did you move?
Sure, why wouldn't you? I lived in New Farm, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was like...
You went to the best.
Yeah.
How long ago was that, bro?
Testing my memory now, man. Well, I've been here, 17 years, so...
In Brisbane?
Yeah.
So 17 years ago, you moved up. So you moved your way from Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
You get your visa in Melbourne or Sydney?
No, visa in Sydney. And then
then opportunity?
Yeah.
In Brisbane?
Yeah. And the other reason I took that job is I said, part of the deal, so this will probably get into what I do now. So I'm a good negotiator, right? So I negotiated with them that they would look at getting me a sponsorship visa, and they said, we never did it before. And I said, I'll help you.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing them solutions.
So you're making your long-term goal happening.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep me.
Yep.
I want you to help me with this.
Correct. But I worked hard, George. Like, I was working like 70 hours a week minimum, because you're on this visa, and you have to do the work.
What's it like, man, like being in a country that you want to live in forever and knowing that your fate is...
Oh, no, it's not good.
Not a good feeling?
It's not a nice place to be.
Because there's people watching this right now, or not watching this, there's people right now going through this. What's it like knowing that your fate isn't 100%, even though you really wanted to be here?
Yeah.
But it was out of your hands completely,
Absolutely.
really. You try everything you can, but
and that's exactly it. I did everything right in what needed to be done in terms, like I did everything by the book, everything that needed to be done, like, the medicals and all that sort of stuff. Like, for me, like, not everybody's going to be the same. Like, you needed an education to do what I'm doing. You needed to have so many years experience. You needed to be part of the Australian Computer Society, all this stuff. So I'm just like, yep. Tick. And you know what, George, I can only do what I could do. In the back of my mind, I'm just like, I'm doing what I can do. The rest of it's up to fate, I can only do as much as I can do. But luckily, everything went to plan, and I got a sponsorship visa, and again, this goes back to an opportunity or good luck, right? So I'm talking to this French lad one night, and he's telling me about this other visa that just gives you residency straight away with that sponsorship. Jesus, how did I miss that? So I looked it up, but there was a lot of caveats and criteria around it. But lo and behold, I fitted into it. So I'm going back to the company, and I'm going, hey, any issues with me applying for this? And they're like, no, I'll pay for it. Yeah, no dramas. So went through that, paid for it, got the visa, residency.
You keep saying good luck, but I want to ask you honestly,
right? How
much to your success? You're in the top 5.8% of Australians now with how much property you got. How much, and you successfully moved to the beautiful state of Brisbane. You got your job that you want. You got granted permanent residency. How much do you put to good luck to hard work?
Hard work, 90%.
90% hard.
Probably more. If you're putting in that effort and stuff like that, I feel like good stuff comes to you. Like, and I know you say this as well. Like, and a lot of people do say it, and it's true. And when you start surrounding yourself with just good people, kind people, stuff like that. Luck. I call it luck, but maybe it's not luck. Maybe it's just
100%, mate. Surrounding yourself with good people. I've been in my life for sure hang around the wrong people, and I was heading
We've all
down
been
the wrong path.
Yep.
And now I choose to only hang around positive, like-minded individuals to keep me on my path.
Yep. And
for those listening who hang around the wrong people, I mean, it's not easy to if you're a good person to sort of cut ties. But how important is it for you to achieve that 10-year goal? How important was it?
Absolutely. And again, I think I said to you before we came on here, like the similarities and everyone that's been on here and what I've gone through and what I believe in is very, very.
I know, mate.
It's weird. Like it's the same. Like I've like cut people out of my life, like, and I'm surrounded by. Like, I've got great Australian friends, New Zealand, all different heritage, Balkan boys and stuff like that, and just good people, like, just really good people, business people, like, successful in everything they do.
What was there a time there, Erin, when you didn't have these people around you?
Yes.
And you could feel, I need to make change?
Absolutely.
Tell me about it.
So, and this was the other thing, like, when you live in Sydney and stuff like that, you're hanging around like with just, well, what are you doing every week? Like, so you're going out on Thursday, you're going on the piss on Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you're just living this life that I didn't really. It's okay for a while, like you're new to the country. Maybe I wasn't really that new, but you know what I'm saying. Like you're having a good time, but then you get to a point where, yeah, but you want to do something else. Like you want to see the country. You want to just meet good people. You want to do something with your career. You want to do something with your life. You want to meet, maybe a potential partner or whatever. You're not going to do that shit, like hanging out. And
so how do you get out of that?
You move and you cut people off. That's what you do.
Simple as that. You just move your environment. You move your environment and you got to cut people off.
Yep.
I couldn't agree more, mate. It's a harsh reality, but that's just how,
you learn it.
That's how growth happens.
See, we can say it because we're older.
Yeah.
And we get it.
So true. We've walked the path.
Yeah. But the kids, like, they don't understand it until it's too. Maybe it's
some people might finish school. That how many people do you still talk to from school? That's a good question.
From school, probably 2 fellas.
And
one of them's living here.
And that's actually a lot of people to still talk to, right? But a lot of people who might be listening to this might mate, as you know, in school is a tight community.
Yeah.
And as you get older, everyone's going to go on different paths.
Yeah.
And everyone's got different lessons happening.
But
definitely one thing that everyone has in common is they surround themselves with the people they want to be like.
Absolutely.
Was there any particular challenge or failure that became a key turning point to your growth? There would have been shit happen, mate. There's no question.
I'm trying to think.
Like there's a lot of people who had the wrong managers or leaders, and that's like I left the bank because I had that. I actually liked her, but she capped the fuck out of me. And I was like, and everyone was getting paid more money than me, and I was working harder. And that's how this place was invented.
Yep.
Because of I wasn't being looked after, opportunity came.
Maybe there's one. And what happened?
Tell me.
So I used to work for this company in Brisbane. The first few years were good. No dramas. Was doing my work, no problem. And then there was kind of like the CIO, and then he had like 2 executive directors, and there was this one particular person who was in his ear, and she just polluted the fuck out of the whole place. Like she's not bad. She was just bad. She was just
toxic.
Toxic. That's the word I'm looking for. She sort of latched onto me then for some reason. I don't know why. And it was just like, she was keep like saying, "Oh, these guys are on your team, and you're not doing this and this." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like we're smashing it. Like we're doing this, and they're happy, and everyone seems." And this continued, and it went on for about a year. And I remember I was with my now wife at the time. She was my partner, and I was saying to her, I was like, it's really mentally screwing with my head, like, because I can't figure it out, like. And the thing for me is I can always figure people out, like. It's like a superpower. I can always, like, within about a couple of meetings or 2 weeks, like I sort of know if that person's good or not or whatever. But I just couldn't figure her out. And I was just like, geez, this is not good. And then she's like, well, you have 2 options. That you can stay there, you can be unhappy, or you can leave. And I thought, but I was just caught up in this sort of, because I mentally was trying to figure this person out rather than going,
She is who she is.
What does it matter? You know, and that again comes from probably growth, age, you know, whatever experience. But for some reason, I was fixated on trying to figure this person out, and she was like, "Just leave." And not only did I leave, but I got a better job, and I left all that shit behind me. Like, and I was just like, you know, I should have known that. But again, that's just my brain.
Well, you're learning.
Well, I'm learning, yeah. But it was just my brain thinking, like, but you know, why don't you like me? Like, or why don't you? What's going on here, or whatever. Trying to figure it out when I didn't need to figure it out. Like,
But how good is that? Like, you learn this lesson. Hang on a second. I'm not enjoying this. That person's really conflicting with my values. Can't work them out.
absolutely,
Bothering you every day. You're taking it home, talking to your partner.
yeah,
And she goes, if you don't like it, just leave.
yeah.
And
pretty
you're like, yeah, you're right. Hang on, why am I taking all this shit on?
Yep.
And then you move and you get a better job anyway.
yeah.
So
I say this to kids: this is a great place for you to grow, your skill sets and all that. But if you don't like it, like, you know, it's a big world out there. Like,
that's a great takeaway. If you don't like it, leave. It's not jail.
not
Your boss isn't your warden.
No.
If you think that you're destined for other things,
go for it.
go for it, mate. Go for it. That's great advice. Also, what I found is for you to make change, though, usually got to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're uncomfortable, sometimes big changes happen.
Yeah.
And there's so many different types of uncomfortable. Uncomfortable can be from this person was just such a negative vibe and was killing you. Maybe you love the work, you like the workplace, but this one individual was fucking it. And that's a big lesson for everyone. One person, like a rotten apple, will just infect everyone.
Yep.
You got to cut out negative people from your personal life, in work. You don't underestimate. One bad egg can spoil all of them.
Absolutely.
That's yet another example of that. I'm going to fast forward to 40 years old. We bought our first house.
Yep.
What did it feel like?
Amazing.
Was it Marsden from memory?
Yeah. So settlement day was on my 40th birthday. On that day.
It was the same day.
Yeah. And I had my mum, my sister, and nephews over from Ireland.
That's big.
It was amazing. And then the next couple of days, I said, I want to show you something. And I showed them the house.
Is that a big thing for your family for that to happen?
Yeah, of course.
So you buy your first house, you're 40 years old. Then, how do you get to here? What happened in between?
So obviously I was along with my partner at the time, and we loved to travel, and we were living in New Farm and all this here. Then it was kind of like, we were thinking, do you know what? Let's just buy an apartment here. Because what we loved, what we didn't like when we came back from when we were traveling is it wasn't our own home that we were coming back to. It was somebody else's home. So then we were kind of like, let's buy an apartment, you know. And then, of course, COVID happened, and we were in an apartment. There was building happened next door, and of course, it never stopped. And we couldn't leave the apartment. So for 3 months, we lived fucking jackhammer, man.
No good.
And we had nowhere to go. And then we were kind of looking at one another, and we were going like, we can't do this. And actually, that was the other thing that happened. So we were supposed to get married. It was about a week out, and we had to cancel everything, right? So then we had to go through that process of trying to get money back and stuff like that, and everybody wasn't keen. They were holding on to money. Like we did get money back, and I'd save money and stuff like that there. What happened was a good friend of mine, I call him Financial Daddy. He used to always like give me like these financial magazines, stuff like that there, and I used to read them and shares and stuff like that. And I said to him, I says, what do we do now? And he goes, start buying shares right now. Have you heard of a lad called Warren Buffett? And I was going, yep. And he goes, read a few things with him, and there was this thing going on. He was like 90% ETFs, 10% bonds. So I was like, had money, so I started throwing them onto shares, and it's worked out, right? And then we were saving, me and my now wife, like, was saving like hell, like for this apartment. We knew we could.
So you're keen as
we were keen.
He was down the vision.
Sacrificed everything, like, you know, just to do that, like, you know. So we lived a very simple life.
How long for do you reckon it took?
Because the wedding didn't happen and we got that money back. So, you know, we were saving.
Closer.
Yeah, brought us closer. And then we had that period where like no one's gone out and nothing was happening. So you could save a lot of money, like, and depending on where you were putting it, you know, you could save more. So we got there, and then I came, saw yourself. They were like, oh, you go and chat to this guy called George, mad loans. And I was like, mad loans? Like, I was like, what the hell? But when I rang, cool. I know, when I rang you, I was like, I like this guy. And then I came in, and you were like, what do you want to buy in this apartment? don't buy an apartment. I did that. You give me the whole big spiel. Back then, that was true, right?
It was true.
It was true back then.
It was true back then.
I don't know. If it
Now
is
I can't say that
No,
anymore.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't say it now
No.
either.
But it was definitely true for a long time. Brisbane, the units were not moving.
Yeah, back when you.
I still believe if you can buy land, you should buy
Oh yeah. If you can.
If you can.
But it's it's not within everybody's
100%
grasp,
agree.
right? So that's what happened. I came in and used to buy, and then the whole story of how we all know one another. It's just crazy. It's because my sister lived on Mons Road, and I got the house for her through Dimitri. Of course, the house belongs to Costa, so she's renting that. And then I go and see you, and you're like, "Hey, this guy." And then I was like, "Oh, well, we really love the area." And then you pick up the phone and ring
Pat.
and I was like, "Oh, I know Pat." I just met him, whenever. And then it was just this combination. And then I went and saw the house. That Friday or Saturday? Or
I
whatever.
remember.
It was quick.
It was very quick.
It was quick.
It went from Marsden to Carina pretty quickly.
It was quick. So then we did that. Pretty quick negotiations. Got it all done, dusted. And then we were going to do some renovation because the equity was went through the roof. Remember?
Yes. So you bought it and it went well for you.
Oh, it went crazy.
And so what did that, in your mind, you're like, hang on a second.
Opportunities.
I'm working for money here
Mm.
and I bought this thing and it goes up. Like now your property portfolio, every year it probably goes up more than you get paid, which is similar to me.
Yeah.
I make more money from my properties than I do my income.
It's crazy, what equity can do, and then open up,
More opportunities.
yeah, opportunities. So, and we were going to do the whole renovation thing.
I remember.
I'm talking to you. You were going to Greece, and you were like, "Yeah, it's all in place," and we were going ahead with it. And then I stopped it because of the
Cost.
the cost and the way the industry was going at that time.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And I'm good at figuring out stuff like that. And I was like, right, that's not happening. And then I went back to my spreadsheets, started doing some maths. So the wife was kind of like, "Oh, well, that's the end of that." No, hold on. So I started doing some figures and I said, I actually think we could buy another house and keep this house back here again. What about this? What if we do this? Yeah, you can do that. And we did that. And then that's the next one.
You're two in the game now.
Yeah. Again, I'm always thinking, what next? What do I need to solidify our future as a family? There's only two of us and the dog, but how do we do this? So then started looking down the super.
You were our first SMSF
was.
loan.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I remember coming in and I didn't mention it at the start because I was kind of like, "Oh, just leave it over there and that'll be plan B if we need to do it." And we went through plan A and they were like, "Oh, you need to do this." I was like, "Okay, well, what about super?" And then it was kind of like, "Oh," everybody was like sort of going, "Oh, okay. How much super do you have?" And I went, "A shitload." I said, because, and the other thing I failed to mention is I actually put extra into the super.
And that's actually something that a lot of people don't do.
Yeah. You can put I think it was back then 27 or 30, 33
correct.
grand or something a year.
Not many people learn that, and because you did research and you started your working career in Australia at how old?
29.
You had a shitload of super, mate. When you bought that property in Carina Heights, you didn't have a normal amount of super for your age.
No.
Especially you started the workforce at like 30 in Australia. So that salary sacrificing, for those who don't know, is when you work for anyone right now, 12% is a standard super, but you can choose to put more in.
Yeah.
And you get tax deduction as well. If you put an extra 10 grand a year, you're probably going to save 3,600 to 4,600 in tax by doing it.
Yep.
And then you get a position to have a lot of super.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how you made this next move.
That's how I made the next move then. So the super was so good. And we started doing the calculations and they're like, "Yeah, you think you could buy a house?" You weren't in the room at the time. So I was like, "Can someone go get the big guy here? Because I want the tick of approval." Because I know you and stuff like that. And you come in and you're like, "Yeah."
I love it. I mean, I'd done it myself.
Well, you said you did it. And I knew which property and what you did. And you were telling me. And yeah.
Great philosophy. It doesn't affect your cash flow.
No.
The taxes in super, it's the best vehicle to own real estate in. And now you got 3. And if you've got $5 million property and the market goes up only this is conservative number this year, 10%. It'll be more than that. 10% of 500 grand of 5 million is 500 grand you'll make. Your properties will go up 500 grand, $500,000 this year doing nothing because of the decisions that you've made.
Yeah.
Opportunity. What are you going to do with that?
I'm not greedy. I'm content at the minute, and I've got like a 10-year plan.
But it's giving you options.
It's giving me options for that 10-year plan.
You know what you did today? You gave a blueprint for a new immigrant how to become financially free.
Yeah, hope so.
You did, because the first step they got to do is get a visa. And the only way they need a visa is you're not going to be a dole bludger. You're going to work hard.
Absolutely.
It wasn't 10% good luck. It wasn't 90% good luck you're here. You worked hard to get that.
I put in the
and you saw opportunities that come. You saved hard and you sacrificed. And then you bought, and then you realized the power of the property, and it's fast forwarded you. But you're also putting money into super at a young age, not yet even knowing that you could probably buy property at the time. You're putting it away for later because you're always looking forward.
That's why I was saying to you when you said, when you were 10 years ago, it was hard to sort of envisage that, because who would have known COVID was going to happen? Who would have known that the price houses were going to go the way? But as soon as that happened, I switch on and there's a new plan.
Knowing what you know today, what do you tell Erin Rowan, new Australian? What do you tell him to do? So, mate, this is the 3 things you got to do immediately.
I think I'd do anything different to what it is. It's just like work hard, believe in yourself, and just cut out the noise around you. And short-term wins, like short-term gains, are going to be long-term. Short-term pain is going to be like long-term gain.
Short-term pain, long-term gain. It's not going to be easy.
No.
It's not easy.
You have to make sacrifices.
You believe in yourself, make sacrifices. And in the end, does it taste as good as it looks?
Yes.
If you listen to this right now and you're wondering how that would be nice to have over $5 million of property, and that would be nice to make $500,000 growth while it's disowning them, well, it tastes as good as it sounds, guys. But it was hard work to get it.
Yep.
And I think that hard work makes it taste better.
Yeah.
I think you enjoy the little things. You enjoy the beer. You're like, this is so good. I know you like getting the Guinness at the Carina Bowls Club there.
We've had a few yourselves. Sometimes when I just sit and have a whiskey or something, and I'm thinking, all right.
You've done fantastic, mate. That's why I got you on this podcast, right? It's a very inspiring story. Better late than ever. If you're hearing this, Erin started his property ownership at 40 years old. And within a short period of time, fast forward, 5 years?
Yep.
Whole financial is transformed, mate.
Yep.
So inspiring. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Much love, mate.
Cheers, mate.